and actually I have the weekly newspaper that was announcing this. This again has been going on in Alabama for a number of years. In an effort to speak to the issue, we produced a flyer. Now, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. I can send you this flyer without our logo. If it would be beneficial to you, I can send it to you. You can put your contact information on there, and it would be something that would be very useful to you. We had approximately 5,000 of these printed up. I didn't bring that many with me, and Jan had some printed up here. So take these. If you know of a farmer that is buying into the sustainable agricultural concept, talk to him. He is committing slow suicide. He will go and help lobby for organic certification, thinking that he's going to have a niche in the market, and quite frankly, he won't be able to keep up with the BMPs, the best management practices that will be required of him, and he will be run out of business. And the only business that has the resources will be ConAg and Big Ag and all the other agricultural industry. In Georgia, you have the Sustainable Communities Act. Now, we've already talked about this, but I want to kind of go over just a little bit of this. On one side is the actual announcement that Governor Deal had so proudly signed this particular piece of legislation. The other side is the entire bill, and it's very, very short. So now let me get my glasses on just a minute. It actually has the most recognized definition for sustainable development. It says, so as to meet the needs of the present and improve the ability of future generations to meet their own needs while advancing progress toward environmental, social, and economic goals. So you can kind of see where this is going. Now, let me talk about intergenerational equity again. We're ensuring that future generations have access to the resources that we have, and that we don't deplete those resources. That is exactly what I just said. It was just reworded. So we're going to have to use governmental edicts to restrict your access to resources from Mother Earth so that government can determine what resources future generations will have. I don't know what kind of crystal ball they have, but by golly, it's a bigger one than I've ever heard anything about. Go out on the internet, just type in Food Council. Here is a website that keeps up with food charters and food councils, Community Food Security Coalition. And look at this one, Georgia Food Policy Council, and notice who she's associated with, the state of Georgia. So she'll be involved, no doubt, in writing a food charter for the state of Georgia. Then you have Athens Area Food Policy Council and the Atlanta Local Food Initiative. In Alabama, it is the Alabama Sustainable Agricultural Network. Their 990 forms are on the internet. They are being funded by the federal government. Here is the Birmingham Community Food Partners. What is a food charter? And this one says, of course, we have to have access to nutritious, affordable, culturally, and appropriate safe foods is a basic human right. Food charter. Now, this one is from Durham. Certain communities that have been at the sustainability trough, drinking the Kool-Aid for a much longer period of time, have more definitive statements. And here now is one of them. And let me just talk about this one. This is food security. Everything associated with food security has to be socially just. And this paragraph, which I haven't highlighted, actually says that we want to make sure that local greenhouse gas emission regulations are written and that resource allocation is determined. So this is a handout. Now, I don't know if we have enough for everybody here. Certainly the crowd is much larger, but I had this particular food charter along with the one from Birmingham so you could kind of compare, because you'll see a food charter that comes out much like the one in Birmingham. And let me speak about what Alabama's doing. because we haven't done what you have done with one fell swoop. You've changed all of your laws and instituted a sustainable agricultural system. In Alabama, we have just a slow implementation process. I don't know why there is a difference. But what is happening is a board is being created so that we can recognize restaurants that buy local foods. And we will give incentives for those restaurants that qualify. This is an unfair business practice supported by government. So we can weed out. Can you imagine if you have home rule, full-blown home rule, which you're trying to get in Alabama, and we had a local board that was supported by funding from who knows where, and we could designate which restaurant was going to remain in business and which one was going to go out of business. If you think of a tomato grown in Alabama, somewhere near the line, it's shipped into your food shed here in Georgia, you'd wind up paying some kind of mitigation fee because it's not locally grown food. What is social justice? We've talked about that a lot, so I went out and got a definition. Progressive taxation, income redistribution, property redistribution, equality of opportunity, and equality of outcome. So that's actually what we're talking about when we talk about social justice and its involvement in the food system. Oop, must have gone the wrong way. Oh, here is Tuscaloosa now. And this is what they say in Tuscaloosa Comprehensive Plan. We want to ensure that we support local and urban food production. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Who wouldn't want to support their local farmer? After all, they're already hard hit by the economic talk about. Okay, I thought it would be interesting to have some of the graphics and some other information dealing with sustainability. This is the Earth Rights Institute. They are supporting the Earth Pledge. You will see that in just a few minutes. This is Elmore County's comprehensive plan, very rural county just above Montgomery in Alabama, and they actually had the three interlocking circles, social, economic, and environmental, where they're coming together. It is said that sustainable development is occurring. And then we have the mayor of Eufaula, Alabama, drawing those very same three circles on a dry eraser board. Let me go back to Elmore County, because there was 5 commissioners in Elmore County, and when we discovered that their comprehensive plan, proposed plan now, had the information about the United Nations and the 3 circles in it, they denied that they had anything to do with it. Well, we held 4 meetings across a year, and they continued to bald-faced lie about it. 3 out of the 5 were voted out of office. So here's another situation that I'm saying we can have an effect at the local level. Now, if this, whoops, back up. Back up one more time. This guy right here, he is G. Dodd Galbraith from Lipscomb University. That is a Church of Christ supported school. And I had at one time wanted to talk to the officials of that school because I thought it was I do know that Church of Christ is a very conservative group of people. And I was very surprised to see that they were supporting sustainability at Lipscomb University. So I wanted to talk to them. Well, since one of the last presentations I made, I talked to some people and they said, oh no, the hierarchy of the school has already bought into all this and you would just be wasting your time. So just letting know. Now the reason I have this up there is because this individual is helping Lewis County and Hole in Wall transform through something called permaculture to sustainable development. And we'll see what they're doing in just a very few minutes. Let me move on to the next one. Here's Dothan, the city of Dothan. They're 2010 through 2003. We don't have 3 circles. We've got a pyramid. And we've got, of course, the master plan right here at the very bottom and all of the various codes and regulations. And at the top, it says sustainable development. So they're adopting the ICC, and there's actually 14 volumes of the ICC, International Code Council's criteria and ordinances. It even has an urban interface volume that is generally not adopted currently, but of course when that does, it will set up that buffer zone around the communities in the rural area. Now, I want to make the point here that the administrative officials shall make all interpretations and regulations. So if you, and one of the regulations is if you have one of these little small wading pools from Walmart, Kmart, you've got to have a lock fence wooden fence that you can't even see the wading pool, and you have to maintain that lock on there as long as no one's in the area.